Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Leadership Continuum. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. I'm here with my dynamic guest, Brenda Miller, who is founder and owner of Miller Marketing. Now, I met Brenda years and years ago when she was teaching full-time on how to get a job on LinkedIn. And now Brenda has a great book called Get a Bigger Slice of the LinkedIn Pie, and many other books, tools, concepts to help all of us learn how to use LinkedIn to get clients, to connect, to mingle, to network. Additionally, one more tip I want to say is Brenda is easygoing, friendly, and brilliant. And I asked her to be a guest, not to teach leadership, but in a way it is leadership. It's how to do what we're doing now effectively. Because I have many times started a LinkedIn Live, a webinar, a Zoom meeting, and I will say I'm not good with all the cool things that make it look really super professional, or sometimes you can see me and not hear my other guests. So Brenda's going to give us tips, tricks, and tools to do an effective webinar on LinkedIn using Restream or other tools. And with that, I will be quiet. Feel free to enter your questions or post them on YouTube or Facebook. If we don't answer them during this 30-minute webinar, we will absolutely get back to you. And later on, I'll share how to get a hold of Brenda and myself. Brenda, take it away, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. And this is a wonderful introduction. I had so many words in my head. I'm like, you're wonderful. I'm like, wait a minute, I got to say thank you. You're wonderful. And my head just got, everything got so excited to come out. We're gonna make this a little bit kind of tutorial, a little bit marketing behind the scenes. And a lot of people know me, Brian, for my area of expertise, which is LinkedIn. And my book, Social Media Pie, my LinkedIn coaching, and all the good stuff. And I was doing a lot of focus, like, as you said, with job seekers, especially during the pandemic. I've always supported working professionals as well, whether it's corporate teams, executives, and really a heavy focus lately on the self-employed and solopreneurs and coaches and consultants. But I come from a corporate marketing background. So I'm always thinking about not just like LinkedIn, the technical aspects and the algorithm and how to build your profile to reach more clients, but I'm also thinking about the marketing aspects of things. And sometimes marketing is, kind of the forward reaching, the messages that we say, the products that we're promoting, the pain points that we're solving, our logos, our brand colors. Sometimes it's that outward facing. And other times there's things that are marketing that are kind of like behind the scenes. You got to pull the curtain back a little bit to understand all the work that goes into these things. So I'm going to let the audience know that this is going to be a little bit of a behind the scenes. I'm going to be helping Brian with some Restream. I'm going to be educating him a little about some of the features that you can use to help to market his business. And then hopefully your audience can learn along the way as well. Does that sound okay to you, Brian?
That is absolutely perfect.
And that's my consultant approach as well. I'm going to kind of check with Brian, make sure we're on the same track and the expectations. So the first thing is, go ahead, Brian.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, I apologize for jumping in. I'm going to let you take the wheel. Is sometimes as solopreneurs, we get busy with everything. So my expertise, I've done communication work and scripting. So I have what I want. I have my notes. I have not quite a teleprompter, but I have what I want to say here. I don't wing it. However, sometimes I wait to the last minute, and I will tell you the night before or the morning of is not to when you want to learn, Restream, and practice. And Brenda has told me that this morning. I already forgot a couple things. So I'm going to be quiet and let Brenda take it from there.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit interactive as well. And what I was just trying to do in the background is open up YouTube, because what we did, Brian and I, in advance of this call, is we had a conversation about what he was currently doing with his webinars. And I believe in the past, those were delivered. Were you doing them on Zoom and then delivering them through Instagram and Facebook? Is that correct? Or tell us what you have been doing with these sessions.
Yes, exactly. That's what I had been doing. And then I switched it to YouTube, but I was still doing it through Zoom, where you have to copy it and then upload it and then it goes. Whereas my understanding, and I'm sure I might need to take another step here, doing it through Restream. Maybe it's live on YouTube right now and people could have gone to my channel, and next week I will promote that aspect. You can connect here and connect here.
It is there. I just found your channel on here. So, and I went on to LinkedIn. I've got like a dual monitor. So if you see me looking off to the side, it's not because I'm getting distracted, or I'm kind of multitasking as we're going along here. So I've got my main laptop in front of me and pointing at my camera. My camera is an external camera that I'm using. And for those of you who aren't doing a lot of webinars and live streams and things like that yet, it's really challenging to train your brain not to look at your screen, because I want to look at Brian. I want to see his reactions. I want to see what he's gesturing and pointing at. But you have to train your brain to look at the video instead, which becomes a little bit challenging. And then I like to, as I'm either hosting a live stream myself or joining as a guest, I have the main live stream, like where I'm joining, on my laptop in front of me, again, looking at the camera to capture my video. But then in my dual monitor off to the side, I have where it is being broadcast live, if there's a live stream being pushed out. So in this case, I want you to think about, we came into the Restream store, right, so to speak, and then we decided we want this to be broadcast out to the LinkedIn network and to the YouTube network. Whereas before, Brian was using the Restream account, and it's the free version. This is really great. I love Restream because of the fact that they allow you to broadcast to multiple networks simultaneously, even with the free version. Some of the other providers only let you do one. Restream lets you do two. So Brian was doing live streaming out to Facebook and Instagram. Is that right, Brian, before?
Yes.
And I asked a question. I said, how much traction are you getting out there? Meaning, are you getting any live viewers watching? Are you getting any people watching playbacks? And what did you say? Okay, minimal. Okay, and I said, that's not surprising. And I said, how large is your presence on Instagram? And Brian, what did you say?
I would say tiny, but much more many more subscribers on, well, of course, LinkedIn and YouTube.
Okay, so then from there,
I'm approaching 1,000 subscribers.
Wonderful.
On YouTube,
so from there, my ears perked up, and I was like, okay, so we want to deliver this live stream to our audiences in places that they can be found. And, it may be that, LinkedIn and YouTube are the right places. Those where most of Brian's audiences can be found. And maybe there's more opportunity on Facebook and Instagram. We haven't tapped into it yet, but I'm going to go with the audience that exists already. So there's larger audiences for Brian on LinkedIn and YouTube based on the number of, on LinkedIn, I'm going to say connections and followers to his individual profile. And I'm going to do a quick peek at that. Brian, you've got, let's see on here. I'm looking at your personal profile. You've got 3,300 followers. So you probably have roughly the same number of connections on your individual profile. Your YouTube channel, you've got, just under 1,000 subscribers on there. So there's a great audience in both of those places. And we had talked about too, I like to, whenever I do a live stream, take that video and put it on YouTube. And YouTube is really the video library, because that's where people go and search for videos. Now you can do a live stream on Instagram, and there is a way that you can, archive it and then have it available for playback. But most people aren't going to sit through a 30-minute video, which is usually what these live streams are. So I said, let's remove from Restream the live stream feed to Facebook and Instagram, and let's instead select your YouTube channel and your LinkedIn channel. And that's what we did today. So right now we're on two networks here. We are on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And I want to encourage your audience, for anyone who's watching, if you're watching this live, go into comments and say hi, hello. Just let us know that you're watching. If you're watching in playback, I want you to do the same thing as well. This is going to help Brian to identify where is his audience watching from, and also, are they watching live or in playback? Now, Brian, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. On LinkedIn, from your view, you could open up your LinkedIn in another tab or window, or, honestly, you could open it up on your phone. Just make sure it's muted, and you can see the number of live viewers that you have on there. Were you aware of that?
I was not aware of that, and I'm going into LinkedIn now. So if you can direct me verbally,
so
where do
you're going
I
to go to your profile. And when you go to your profile, you're going to scroll down to the activity feed section. So the place that says activity, and then it's going to show your latest few posts. You're going to see the video in there. At the bottom, I want you to click on show all posts. And when you click on show all posts, it should pull up. This video will be the most recent post on there. Now just make sure that it's muted because it's going to start playing and there's a delay. There's about a 30-second delay and you're going to hear like an echo of what I'm talking about from 30 seconds ago.
Well, I can see the video, so I'll just leave it at
good.
that. So that
And
is absolutely
do you
perfect.
see in the upper right-hand corner, do you see the number of viewers? Does it show you that in there?
Let me click on the three dots and see what it does.
You shouldn't have to click on anything. It should just be in the feed next to, you see the red button or the red text that says live in the upper left-hand corner of the video? Right next to that, it should say a number of people that are watching live, if there are any people watching live.
You know what? I didn't hit here. I just clicked on more. I see live now.
Okay. And do you see a number next to it?
Not
okay.
yet.
The good thing is we can troubleshoot this together because
yes,
okay,
I
what's
do.
the number
It
that you
just
see
popped
there?
up. Right now there are 4.
Thank you for the 4 people watching. So here's what I want you to do, Brian. So we the viewers can see what you're seeing as well. Inside Restream, there's a way that you can do a share screen. So if you look below our video panel, you're going to see a little icon that looks like, it's kind of like a laptop on a stand with an arrow pointing. And if you click on it, it says share screen. Do you see that? So we're inside Restream right now. Below both of us on video, you should see a share screen button. Do you see that?
Yes, and I'm going to click
on that and then
there on
share
LinkedIn.
either your desktop or the tab that is open with LinkedIn as a part of it.
Right, and we lost 2, so now there's
no,
just
you can still hear me right in the background. The screen is changing a little bit. The next thing I want you to do is can you change the screen view? Oh, actually, I don't think you can. So I think you've set up Restream for a portrait Instagram reel style video, so we can't make it, I believe, landscape. I think we have to
here we can change that.
Can you change it? I don't know that you can do that after you start the video. And if anyone's watching who is a Restream user, please go into chat and let us know. I think you have to set the video dimensions at the time that you start the stream.
Well, let's do a live demo and see what happens. So we don't want picture in picture. Do we want cinema, cover? Here, I'm going to hit the different buttons.
Yeah, just try to toggle back and forth. The good thing is this is all a test. You know, I'm going to try to go into Restream's chat. And I'm going to type in change video orientation and see what's coming up in here. Nope, it's not showing anything yet.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, now we're larger. That's good. Okay, now you're bigger. I'm smaller on here, right? So this is a good thing to kind of test the different layouts. But are you noticing it's still that up and down portrait? The frame itself is still that up and down size. I don't believe.
So let's see if
I think you have to set it before we start the video. So you set it at the time that you create the event, not after the event has begun. And this one made sense before when you were doing Instagram and Facebook, because then it went into, your reels, and most people are watching Instagram from their phone. So that made sense. So this will be, and Brian, I don't call them mistakes. I call them learning experiences. So we're just keeping track here of our learning experiences so far. And honestly, the way that I learn, Brian, is by making those mistakes, AKA learning experience. The only reason I know this is because this has probably happened to me at some point, some variation of it. So our first learning experience is that at the time of scheduling the video, if we want it to be a landscape video, we've got to make sure that the event we create in Restream is created as a landscape video event, not as a portrait event. Okay. And if you're not sure of that, I am not a super heavy Restream user, but I know all of these platforms have excellent help and directories, and you can go into their help chat and type in, and if you can't find the answer to their question, you can submit it as an email to them, or go into live chat and get a person to help you with this. But my understanding here is like whatever we set it up as is how we're going to have the platform on here. Now, one other thing I want to show you, Brian, try to click on my video and drag it up to the top. I believe you can flip our order in here as well. So click on my video at the bottom and drag it up to the top. Will it allow you to move our position? There you go. So there's another little cool party trick you learned from today. If you're trying to change the orientation. And maybe if you're interviewing someone, remember how earlier you had like one was like a hero video and then one was smaller. So make me larger right now and you smaller. Try to do that. So this is testing the different features. It almost reminds me of like when you test drive a car and you get in for the first time and, you know, hopefully the person from the dealer or the person you're buying from isn't sitting next to you because you like to try all the buttons. Like here's the radio, here's the windows, here's the this, the that. So we're trying like all the different buttons so we get comfortable with where things are located inside there. So this is a really great, I mean, the good thing is this is like, again, behind the scenes using Restream. Brian's on with a trusted person like me who's just walking him through, no judgment at all. I'm not going, Brian, you did that wrong. I'm not like yelling at him through the process. And I'm also encouraging him to try some things. So Brian, now can you flip the order? Can you make you the large video and me the smaller video? Can you try to do that? So try to use that technique, that dragging the video up and down. Look at that. So now you just learned that as well, right? Now, in this case, you've almost got that Wilson from Home Improvement. I'm blocking a little bit of your face on there, right? So part of this is, remember earlier I said you got to like be focused on watching the video. I'm pointing to my video as I'm doing this. You got to watch the video, but periodically as you're changing views, you got to look down real quick and then see how does that look up on screen. Another thing I'm just noticing right now, if you look at the two of us, I'm a little bit further back. You know, I really should probably have my face a little bit closer on here, but I want to try to make sure as the host, when I'm interviewing someone, that both of our faces are at about the same distance to the camera. And we're both, you know, if it's like head and shoulders, we're both, you know, relatively the same setup. Have you ever seen a video, Brian, where someone's like this far back? Right.
Yes.
And the host is this close to the camera. And you're like,
yes. So let's interview each
like,
other.
Why isn't the host saying something? Right. And this is really important. Like we did a couple minutes before we started going on. That's one of the things I do as a host before we go live. First, I will, you know, graciously ask my guest. I'll say, hey, Brian, I really like to try to make sure that we're both at about the same distance to the camera and our head and shoulders are on here. You know, when I reach out to the front of my camera, I'm about an arm's length from the camera. How far are you away? So if you were to touch your camera right now,
and if I lean back now, I'm arm's length. So I wanted to just
So you're a little bit closer. So then as a host, I'm going to say, okay, let me make the adjustment. Stay where you are. Let me make the adjustment and get myself a little bit closer. Give me just a second to do so. And then the other thing I'm trying to do, Brian, is make sure that we've got about the same distance from the top of our heads to the top of the camera frame. Now, you're a bit taller than me. I'm 5'4"-ish. How tall are you?
I am 5'10", and I view you as 6'4" in brilliance and personality. But I will say just real quick, because you taught me this also, I always asked, and people ask me about my webinars, why are you using an external webcam? And I said, well, one, clarity, two, I mean, it's a higher power. However, you can adjust that. So instead of me trying to make my tablet go like this, I can move my webcam, which I don't have right now this morning. And that helps make everything easier to adjust so that we can match with our guests. Whereas I have a limited space in my home office right now. And so it's, you know, you do what you can that works. If you have an external webcam, that is, in my mind, one of the best advantages.
Absolutely. And they're pretty low cost nowadays. I mean, I think the version I have is like less than $100, and you can get them on Amazon. You can get them from other places that sell webcams, things like that, but they're pretty low cost. I will share if I can find it real quick. The version I use, it's a Logitech camera, and you know, it's a great camera to use as well. So,
and real quick, Brenda, can you tell people, I know I use them myself. Where can people go to register with you to get your checklists on doing a podcast and a webinar?
So I've got a bunch of different LinkedIn checklists for individuals that are podcasters, that are online course creators, that are coaches, that are consultants. You can go to mellermarketing.com. That's mellermarketing.com/checklist. And you'll be able to search any of those. And actually, if you go to my homepage, just mellermarketing.com, front and center, you're going to see on there the link to go in and find the checklist. I will also try to put the link in your playback area on both LinkedIn and on YouTube for that checklist in there. And I'm
Okay.
also pulling up, I've got a blog. It's called Hey Brenda, What Tech Do You Use? It's like when people ask me that, whenever I purchase a new piece of equipment, I put it inside that that blog area so that it can be easily accessible for all of you. There you go. Okay.
Perfect.
So what else did we talk about? So we talked about, we moved Brian off of going live streaming on Facebook and Instagram, which really weren't showing him a lot of love. He wasn't getting a lot of traction. We're moving this now on LinkedIn, which is his largest audience, and then YouTube, because it's kind of the video library out there. You might find people watching live in both instances. More than likely, though, you're going to find people that are watching the playback in both of these places. Now, on LinkedIn, and I always like to, when I'm interviewing guests, Brian, I'm assuming people are watching live. So I invite them into the comments. You know, if you're here watching, say hi so we know that you're here. I invite them to leave a comment if they're watching it in playback. So then you can start to see when are most people watching. Now, for you, what I love about video is that, you know, it gives people that you get a sense of their personality, their area of expertise, their passion. You can feel their personality that's coming out on there. And LinkedIn used to do a heavier priority of live stream videos when live streams were first big. So remember that, Brian, like when they were first coming out, you would see like they would get notification. Brenda's going live and you get notification, even if you didn't register. We're not seeing as many of those lately. Would you agree with that?
100%. And on that point, could you jump into, so right now we're doing this, we're doing it through Restream instead of Zoom. I mean, I have the Zoom link, obviously we're using that. What would a person do, or myself, if I want to invite my connections to this webinar?
So through Restream, when we first create the event, it will publish the event as a post and simultaneously as an event on LinkedIn. So I'm going to use that as an example. It will also publish it as a post in an upcoming live stream on YouTube. Now, YouTube, I don't think has the same mechanism that you can invite people to follow a specific event. Certainly you can encourage your subscribers and then have them click on the bell and note all notifications, they'll get notified. But LinkedIn is a little bit different because it creates an event page inside there. And then within the event, you can click to invite your connections to attend it. And the beauty of live streaming on LinkedIn is even if they're interested in the topic and they click that they're planning to attend, even if they don't attend, it'll be easier for them to find the playback later, especially if they use that feature in LinkedIn that's add to calendar. So I RSVP that I'm going to attend Brian's The Leadership Continuum event featuring Brenda Muller to learn LinkedIn and marketing tips. Something comes up that morning, a client call, family emergency, what I can't watch it, but I've added it to my calendar. So now when I go into my calendar and I go, oh, shoot, that was that live stream today, I missed it. I can click on it. It will take me to the LinkedIn event page, which now houses the playback video. And then I can also comment on it inside that section as well. So you can use the event feature to invite up to 1,000 of your first level connections to attend events every week. And when I say events, you can spread those 1,000 across multiple events, or you can use them all for one event. Does that help you, Brian?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, the feature in here that can help you to increase your live stream participation to some extent. And I'm you can hear me saying to some extent, I'm a little bit hesitant on that because I think you got to work within the LinkedIn algorithm and framework. And we just know on the whole that LinkedIn is not prioritizing live streams to the extent that they used to. And I think also people are getting a bit burned out with watching live streams. There was a point in time during the pandemic, we were hungry for human interaction. We were watching videos like all the time. And now we're doing more of the in-person networking again. We're not as beholden to watching live stream videos to see real people because we can see them out in person. And everything, you know, in marketing, we learn this, everything has a product life cycle, right? There's a slow adoption rate in the beginning, and then there's the mainstream takeoff, and then there's a bit of a decline. And the product or service either needs to evolve to remain current and to support a demand that exists in the market, or it's going to, you know, it's kind of like that bell curve. It's going to continue to taper off. And some products go away entirely, you know, there's so many things that have gone away entirely. Fax machines are still around to some extent. Yellow pages, I don't know if you can find those anymore. Those are completely gone. Rolodexes, I think you can still find them, but for the most part, we now use LinkedIn for contact management, things like that on there. Blackberries, I don't think you can find those out in the market. So there's a lot of things that you have to keep current with the technology and the consumer needs that are out there, and solving the problems that are evolving in the marketplace. So I think for me, what I'm doing now with live stream, and maybe this will help you as well, Brian, is when I do a live stream, I'm not doing many of them at all right now, but when I do a live stream, I'm broadcasting it simultaneously to LinkedIn and to YouTube. That way I don't have to download the video and upload it to YouTube later. I can just go in and make some tweaks to the description if I need to. But I'm also not catering as much to a live audience as I used to. And that doesn't mean I'm not speaking to you if you're coming on live. If someone comes on live and says, hi, we're going to reply back to them. But I know that there's not the volume of people watching live anymore. So I'm more delivering it just start to finish, assuming I'm solo, or if I'm interviewing my guests, I'm just focusing on my guests. Have you ever been on a live stream, Brian, where people are like, okay, we're going to get started. All right, if anyone's here, comment. All right, we're going to give it another minute and see if the live stream's coming up. Is this working? And it's like an awkward, you know what I mean, Brian? Have you seen that happen before? Like 2 to 3 minutes?
I have, and I have to say, users are getting much better at that. And then just for myself, doing leadership training, communication work. By the way, you can go to drbriangrossman.com. You can go to my LinkedIn profile, send me a comment about this. Other tips, my specialty is helping healthcare, leadership, hospitals, nurses, doctors have effective teams, lower stress, communicate more effectively to provide better patient care. Not that you're not doing a great job, but when we're under stress, we sometimes are not at our best consistently. And I love interacting. So we didn't do it this time. I will do polls. I'll put people in breakout sessions. I encourage everybody, it's almost like NLP. Okay, everybody, if you agree with this, put yes in the chat, just to keep it interactive. And I think the more we do that on Zoom, and I know you do the same, and you encourage people to comment. So the more we can involve people, the better interaction, the more connected we feel. And this is really all about connection. So thank you again for taking the time to do this for myself and everybody else who will watch the replay.
Absolutely. Can I give one quick plug before we wrap up for today?
2 more. Yes, go for it. Because we started a little late. So we have 2 more
great.
minutes.
So I have a program that I've created called Marketing with Mellor. It's a membership program. It's not like an online program where you have to watch videos in sequence and do homework and things like that. It's more a place that you can come online virtually with me and learn from me. Inside the Marketing with Mellor program, I offer 3 live virtual events every month. One is an educational masterclass focused on some type of marketing topic, and it might be a front-looking, creating logo, marketing plan, branding, things like that. Or it might be more of a back-facing, something like how to do live streams or how to set up your Trello board to support your business. So sometimes it's more behind the scene things. The topics that I do for my master classes are always suggested by my members. So it's a great part of the program. We also do a roundtable discussion once a month. So we pick a topic and I facilitate and everybody talks about it. And then our third event every month is an office hours where you come in, do introductions, network with others, kind of like an ask me anything if you have any questions that have come up. And I tried to set up the program, Brian, so that it was I wanted to make the price so reasonable that when you looked at it, you go, why wouldn't I sign up? That's such a deal to sign up for the program. So right now we're running the special where you can join for just $57 per month. Or if you want to join annually, you can join $570 for the year. You get 12 months for the price of 10. And I will be increasing that membership level up to $67 and $670 for the year starting on July 1st. The great thing is when you join the program, not only do you get access to the live upcoming virtual events, but you also get access to a playback of everything we've done since I launched the program in the start of 2024. So if your audience is interested, they can go to mellormarketing.com/join. And if you're interested in learning more about that and have questions, do let me know as well.
And many of you are wondering, does it work? So I will tell you, I'm here today partly, of course, because of my own drive and wanting to do this and work as a coach and trainer and speaker. However, I was working at different substance abuse clinics as a therapist, and going, as Brenda morphed from finding jobs on LinkedIn to coaching and speaking and training herself in her business. I got a personal call, and Brenda said, "Did you know you can change your LinkedIn profile to do coaching and speaking while you're working at your substance abuse clinic? As long as you're not going to run a substance abuse clinic via marketing on LinkedIn and be competition, there's no conflict of interest." So that was a light bulb for me, and that started me on the path to want to do this work full time. And my LinkedIn first level connections grew from a whopping 149 to 1,000 after going through her course. And then I learned, yes, I want to connect with as many people, but you also want to be conscious of your audience.
The right people.
So now, I want to have healthcare workers and, nursing associations and doctors associations. Not that I would turn down any. I love connecting and mingling because I learn much from other speakers and coaches and trainers, but I'm not going to bug them with coming to my webinar when I'm talking about stuff that they're talking about too. Now, we will also do joint things. So just keep that in mind. And Meller is Meller, and I will master Restream so that we can post in a comment so you can see things. And then a quick question, Brenda, before we end. I can't want to thank you again for your time and patience in doing this. Thank everybody for watching the replay or attending live, even if you're shy. If I hit end stream, will you and I still be able to talk here, or do we need to connect on?
Yes. So if you end stream, it stops the live stream. Now, there is about a 20 to 30-second delay from the time that you click on stop and the video stop.
Okay.
So there's actually, and I'm in like in a participant view of Restream, but in your view of live or of StreamYard, Brian, are you seeing on the right-hand side of your screen, do you see like an intro video or a countdown video or anything like that in there? On the right-hand side of your screen? Okay. So I seem to recall like Restream has like an intro video. It's like a countdown ticker, 30 seconds to 0. And then once it hits 0, you go live.
Oh, yes. When we started, it does that. And probably when we end,
I don't know if it has an outro.
Okay.
So I've created my own, and maybe that's another masterclass I do in marketing with Meller in the future, how to do an intro and how to do an outro. They're really easy to do. Perfect. And you could even use Canva, and Canva has templates for intro videos and outro videos. Like I have one that's like a 30-second countdown in the beginning, which teases my guests. The closing, the outro for mine is more, thanks for watching. Here's a checklist related to the topic if you want to download, and make sure you connect with Brian, and it's playing for 25 seconds on there. But that helps to smooth things off so you don't get that abrupt, okay, thanks for watching, everyone.
All right.
Are we off? Are we done? Like that awkward thing that happens. But it will, when you click end live stream, it will stop the live stream, but we're still here in the green room, so to speak. So we can still talk to each other before. Just don't close out of Restream entirely, if that makes sense.
Correct. Okay. Well, thank you all for attending. Thank you, Brenda, for your expertise and tips. I will absolutely repost this, and we'll take a look behind the scenes later on, and maybe do this with some advanced tips for people in August or September if you have.
Yeah, I would love to come back, and maybe next time we could try, because right now we've got the portrait. Maybe next time we could try the horizontal view and try some different things in there too.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We're going to end in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have an excellent and exceptional Wednesday, and make today your best day of the week.